This is Landon Heights, and you're listening to the Garrett Smith Podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, Happy New Year. We won't even speak about the year we just got out of, but I am glad you're back and listening. We're going to kick things off for the new year with none other than Mr. Landon Heights. Landon, how's it going today?
Oh, so good, man. How are you, dude?
I'm adjusting to getting back to work and reality and all of that fun stuff.
Yeah, man.
We were just talking off air. I mentioned that this is the first interview of 2021, but it's another first. I believe this is the first Landon Heights interview.
This is the first of many soon to come. Yes, I'm excited.
I guess you make me nervous because you heard my voice a second ago. Interview? Like I'm Ron Burgundy.
That's awesome.
I guess I'll get my composure together. But tell us what you've been up to lately.
Oh man, it's been a journey starting this whole country thing, man. I started this back in September. Life with COVID times have been crazy.
Yeah.
My wife and I went through the whole COVID thing back in summer of last year. And,
y'all got it?
oh gosh, yeah, we got it. We got it, and I was out of work for about almost a month and a half.
Goodness.
Yeah. So got through all that, and I just felt like I had a few country songs that just like have been on the back burner for a while, and I just thought, man, maybe I should try this since everything's kind of mellow at the moment. And then
it's exactly how this podcast started.
and then it just started out as a hobby, and I never thought that I'd be going back to like a kind of full-time music career with all this. And so
and yet here you are.
It's been kind of crazy.
All right, momentary bleep moment there. Y'all, as we were recording, I realized I was recording over a previous episode. So this was almost episode 35 with Holly Tucker Part 2, Landon Heights Special Edition. But we are back. So you got into the whole country game. And, I kind of like to tell everybody how I discovered or met each artist that comes onto the program. And I say program like we're a syndicated outfit. I'm not in my mom's basement, but I am podcasting. So basically, I met Landon with the Whitlee Casey band when I was at the University of Mary Hardin Baylor, aka 2018 and 2016 football national champs, no matter what you say. And it was the most random thing. Y'all were doing this concert in our quad, and usually if anything like that happened, everyone knew about it. And that night, like, I had no idea. I was just oblivious. Around the corner, I'm like, there is a country band playing in the middle of the quad right now. So it was really cool. And I don't remember how, but somehow I think the sound guy recruited me to like introduce y'all. And so that's how we met. And that was 2009, I believe. Yeah, spring 2009. So a decade ago.
Which that is funny in itself, because our sound guy was our electric guitar player's dad. So that is quite hysterical that he
was that Jason, or was he the bass player? I can't remember.
No, Jason was the bass player. We had an electric guitarist named Josh.
Gotcha. That's right. Yeah, Jason was the bassist, because I had met the bassist in that band. I was a welcome week leader for the institution, and he was one of my freshmen. But man, so then fast forward in the time machine all the way now, back in the same area, back in the Temple Belton area. So we reconnected, and here we are.
It's been good, man. You bring up so many good memories. That's I
try to make sure the ones I bring up are good.
Yeah, I remember that show kind of, gosh, it was like it was yesterday, dude. Time flies, man.
Well, you may not know this. What's funny is, so I was doing like a student leadership campaign at the time. People thought I hired y'all to like promote my they were like, dude, you threw a concert in the quad. It's like, where'd you hear that?
Yeah, there you go. That's good advertising.
I wish I could have claimed it, but yeah. So you did country music before, and then you've been doing different things like church music, and you've done a lot of different things, and now you're kind of back in the country scene. So kind of take us through your journey.
Yeah. So, gosh, man, I don't know where to start. Oh, I guess I could start as a kid, like back in back before I was even born, in the early '80s. My dad was playing guitar and singing in bars and honky tonks all around the state, and just playing shows with his friends and everything. And when I growing up as a kid, I always watched him with his passion for country music, and just the way he enjoyed it. Like, I grew up on '90s country, like Garth and Brooks and Dunn and George Strait, and just solid '90s country music. And then I always just watch my dad play guitar at the kitchen table, and that just like it just awed me that my dad knew how to play guitar and just how to sing and stuff. And just I was like, man, that's I gotta do that one day. As a kid, that's what I was thinking. And so back when, like, oh gosh, 13, 14 years old, started playing in youth group, just playing guitar and whatnot. And I figured I'd start kind of asking dad if he would show me some few chords. And about that time, YouTube and everything started popping up. And then it was kind of easy to learn guitar a little better when you had videos of people showing you and stuff online. And so I just kind of rolled with that. And then, for about 12, 15 years now, I've been traveling the country playing my own original Christian gospel music. East Coast, West Coast, Central States, and just really enjoying that. But I've always had that kind of passion to go back and kind of relive my days as a kid, listening to my dad play country music. And so I figured I'd give a stab at it back in I don't know, 2016. I tried releasing a little EP under my real name. So for people, let me clarify that.
I was going to segue into that in a minute.
So my real name is Whitlee Casey. You can find me anywhere on the Christian gospel side of things, just through that and through Spotify and anywhere. Just look up Whitlee Casey, and then you'll find all my Christian gospel stuff. I felt like if I was going to do country music, I felt like I needed to start a new brand. And that's kind of where the Landon Heights came in. My middle name is Landon. And so after thinking of that, hey, that could be my first name. And my wife and I started thinking of talking about reaching new goals and stuff. And that's where we came up with the word Heights and kind of threw them together. And I was like, okay, that kind of sounds pretty rad. And so we did that. And then, this all started back in September, and now we're coming out with our second Texas country single on Thursday. So it's been a moving train, man.
I love that. You said something a second ago that actually made me chuckle a little bit, because you said you grew up listening to Garth, Brooks and Dunn. And the way you said it reminded me that there was somebody on Facebook, and they're probably listening to this and are going to get mad. I don't remember who it was, but I guess they weren't real big into country, and they thought that Garth Brooks was the Brooks from Brooks and Dunn. So it was like Garth Brooks and Dunn.
No way.
I was like, although I do wish they would do a collaboration just to brand it as that now.
Oh, absolutely. Garth Brooks and Dunn.
So how long did you compile these songs that you've been putting together for the EP?
Oh man. So bro, this one we're about to release Thursday, Lead Me On. It's kind of 12, 13 years in the making. Kind of started writing it a little before I met my wife, because I was going through somewhat of a heartbreak at the time. And I just kind of wrote the situation out. I didn't really put the words together, but just like I wanted to make sure I had that story in my mind just in case a song ended up popping up down the road, because I knew that could possibly do this decent material. And so that all happened, and then once I got into country again, I just thought, man, this would be the perfect moment to kind of write that song out of that story. And so this first song, "Lead Me On," came out on a piece of paper, maybe right before COVID started. So I'd say about February or so.
Wow.
We started writing it, and then recorded it this last October.
I should do a Coronaversary episode of this podcast. Nobody would want to hear that, but well, 'cause this whole thing started, I guess, last March or April. I mean, it was not long after quarantine started. So yeah, no, nobody wants to think of coronavirus. I would never call it that.
Isn't it amazing how many like hobbies and just like interests we've found since we've like been so compiled in our own home?
It's weird. Yeah, it's really weird. Like, I've basically reformatted the whole plan of how I'm going to come back with my music. And I mean, I told myself, okay, so a lot of anyone who's listening who has seen me live knows that I can't play guitar. It's not a secret. I can play open tune, and that's it. So I play like a whole show in the same key, and if people don't like it, they don't have to listen to it. And a lot of them don't. But I was kind of like, I'm going to learn how to do this the quote right way. Like, there's a right way to do music. And I never did. I was like, I had this whole year, but I did learn how to sing while playing bass guitar. And so now with my band, we're kind of the ZZ Top format, but we have 3 guys, a drummer, a guitar player who plays on a loop, so he does rhythm and lead, and me on bass. So you save a lot of money by only having 3 guys, but you also save a lot of money by not having gigs because Corona's still happening. So
you say ZZ Top format. Do you all 3 have beards as well?
Actually, it is ZZ Top format because 2 of us have beards.
Yeah. Okay. There you go.
Although in ZZ Top, the only guy without a beard, his name is Frank Beard. I've never figured that out.
That's right.
They're a little better than we are, though. A little more practiced. 50 years in the making. Well, let's listen to one of your songs. How about "Lead Me On"?
That sounds good, man.
And for anyone listening, I'm not saying "Lead Me On." I'm saying, how about we listen to the song "Lead Me On"? I'm going to shut up and play it. Here is "Lead Me On."
I knew your lips would taste like an evil kiss. I didn't know your smile would break my heart like this. Oh, as we went to dance to songs about rain, I wish I could have been ready before the end of that day. My stupid ways of just drag on enough to not care and roll on. Go ahead, lead me on. Do what you gotta do and carry on. Go ahead and say what you gotta say. I'll fight this fight and push to stay strong. Do your best and lead me on. Now that your true colors are starting to shine, it's not just me that sees the fact there's another side. But your crooked, mystic ways always know the right words. Heaven help me not to fall for the wrong girl. But my stupid ways will just drag on enough to not care and roll on. Go gotta do and carry on. Well, girl, go ahead and say what you gotta say. I'll fight this fight and push to stay strong. Do your best to lead me on. Do your best to lead me on, girl.
So take me through some of your early gigs, because I mean you've had the early influences, you've been playing and writing music for a long time, but what were some of the first shows you played? And it'll be kind of familiar to this area because I know a lot of our listeners are probably from the Belton Temple Troy area.
Yeah. So far in the Texas country world, I've really only gotten my feet wet in Cameron, Texas, a little place out there called Country City Saloon.
Yo, man.
Yeah, dude. The yo is rocking out there with some Texas country. We got to play out there in November with the Bellamy Brothers, and then in December we played with Brandon Ryder and Curtis Grimes. Those were some pretty decent shows. Of course, we're looking to expand that. I think some of my bucket list places to play doing this Texas country thing is, of course, places like Billy Bob's, Green Hall, Whitewater Amphitheater, Brewster Street Ice House, Cheatham Street, places like that, man.
So save the one you want to play most for the end, because I'm going to spring that question on you. But you get you get bonus time to think about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Here's one for now, though. What's somewhere in the Bell County area you haven't gotten to play that you want to?
Oh, Show's Barbecue.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, dude.
I guess that'd be mine too, to be honest.
That would be Bell County. McLennan County would be Backyard Grill.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. They have a cool set. I've only driven by it. I've never been to a show at it, but it's really cool looking.
Yeah.
Kind of got your feet wet with the gigs in the area. Tell me about playing for the Bellamy Brothers. What was that? Well, not playing for them, but what was it like to open that show for them?
Well, here's what's crazy about that. So I did two kind of shows back to back. They were 2 weeks apart. Both of them were in Cameron. One was for a small little festival that we were kind of closing, and so it was just me and my drummer, and we just finished out the festival, and there was kind of people off and on there. It's they blocked a couple streets off and just put up vendors and whatnot, and just we're kind of back live entertainment for the background, But going from that to 700-800 people to be there for Bellamy Brothers and kind of getting 30 to 45 minutes to open for them. At first, I only had 6 or 7 songs planned, but maybe by the time I realized, oh crap, I have 15-20 minutes left, I just started playing songs off the top of my head. So I was I gotta cover this time and do a decent job with this so I can come back. so yeah, it was fun. Great guys. Great place out there for country music for sure.
I need to get out there. The last couple of times you've played out there, you've texted me about it, and I kid you not, I was gonna go through Cameron that day, but I was still on the road to or from. So I was in Giddings or Dimebox, Texas, and so I was in the area, but couldn't quite get to the show.
Yeah.
So eventually the stars will align because they're aligned pretty closely.
Yeah,
but
I'm sure we'll be out there again, man, for sure.
Well, the more things open up, I mean, you and I'll be playing a lot of the local places. I mean, you play at Trino right after I was playing at not Boulder Pub, what's it called? Firebase Brewing.
Yeah,
and those are right down the street from each other. Because for anyone that hasn't really ventured the Temple, Texas area, there's a small but growing music scene here. And there's some really cool little spots for acoustic, and then for full band, you mentioned Shup's Barbecue, and then O'Brien's is a really cool spot. But I hope that'll really blow up.
Yeah, Jacob Bates is the owner there over at Trino, and I think he owns Bird Creek as well. But he did a phenomenal job making that place and just a perfect live music venue for a backyard area, which is really cool.
It's a strange but really cool stage. I mean, it's difficult to describe to listeners without a visual, but it's
honestly somewhat narrow.
Yeah.
And like, it's hard to explain, but it's just literally narrow.
It's a declining grass hill with a brick wall that kind of funnels you towards the stage, but I don't know. It's just really cool. You'd have to be there. Which we will. I've been telling some other artists they need to kind of crack into the area because this could potentially be a really good Texas country spot.
Yeah, for sure.
So what kind of took you to the recording process? You know, where did you record the EP and how long did it take you to get it out?
Yeah, so for the last 3 years, I've worked kind of remotely with a studio out of Covington, Georgia. It's a group called Tune Designer, and you can find them at tunedesigner.com. But it's, 3 or 4 guys who are studio musicians. John Johnson is the main guy over there and owns it, and he's kind of the engineer and whatnot. And then John Johnson, he helped Brantley Gilbert with his record Modern Day Prodigal Son.
Love that album.
And great stuff. And then after he used to live in Nashville, been doing recording for about 25, 30 years, and moved to Georgia and built his own place. And it's really cool because you can send them a demo, just acoustic demo, maybe like a voice memo on your phone, and just how the song goes, and then they chart it out and they get it rocking, and they send it back to you for a vocal. You send it back to them and mix and master it down. I feel like it's kind of cheating at sometimes, just because like I never leave my house, which is weird. But
hey, nothing wrong with that during coronavirus.
Oh gosh, you can just put out music left and right through this thing. With they love it, and I do too. But what's cool about it is even though it's remote and you've like 3 years of working with it, and I still have not met them face to face, just over phone calls, FaceTimes. I get a chance to like pour my heart out on what I actually want for the song, and they take it and run with it, and they do a heck of a good job.
That's incredible.
Making it come to life. They're really solid folks down there.
That's awesome. How'd you find them?
Over Facebook, man.
Wow.
I wish I could tell you an awesome story of how we crossed paths, but
I was just thinking, Georgia, that's not close.
Yeah, I know. Facebook just, I guess I just ran into one of their sponsored ads one time, and I was just like, oh, this is kind of cool. And so I sent them a message and like a couple of my demos and stuff, and like, hey, we would love to work with you. And it just became this big relationship. Like, we literally talk all the time, even when we're not recording. It's just like good friends from another state. So
it's cool how music connects people like that.
Yeah, for sure.
It's also kind of scary how targeted Facebook ads were. I mean, I get on my phone, I disable all permissions on all apps pretty much, and then when I need them, I'll enable them. But I just kind of like, I get a little scared of Big Brother when I've got my phone out. But it's also kind of scary how Facebook's policies are. The only thing scarier than their targeting ads is when you're no longer allowed to use them. I'm in Facebook ad jail for like the 5th time. It's usually a glitch, but I think this might be the death penalty. Yeah. I made a snow angel the other day. I mean, it's Central Texas. You got to play in the snow. But I was just wearing my swim shorts like I was going swimming because I thought it'd be funny. And
oh, yes. I think I see this post on Instagram.
Yeah. Well, Facebook didn't think it was funny. Like Instagram was like, hey, this is performing well. You should make an ad. I'm like, you're right. And then I did. And then Facebook came in and was like, no, we're going to put you in a cell with Donald Trump.
Oh, the Facebook police, man.
Yeah.
Gotta love them.
I didn't storm the Capitol or anything. Like, jeez.
Oh, no.
Oh, okay. Well, before I get this podcast banned, let's continue. Let's cut to a song and get my bearings straight here before I trigger anyone. This next one's called Homecoming Queen.
She had a spark in her eye wearing that gold dress, walking through the band like she owned the land. My heart was racing out of my chest. Well, I remember when they called her name, I joined in as the crowd went wild. by my side, man, she had the biggest smile. I remember the night I kissed the homecoming queen, greatest high school moment that ever happened to me. For so long I just knew I didn't have a chance. I wasn't gonna be stopped, living a young small town boy's dream, kissing the homecoming queen. Well, it's 9 years later and we're still the best of friends, living our lives in this crazy world, always hanging out on weekends. She asked me one Saturday night about my favorite memories. Right then and there I knew I had to share just how much she meant to me. I remember the night I kissed the homecoming queen, greatest high school moment that ever happened to me. For so long I just knew I didn't have a chance. Then she held my hand, man, she was so pretty. She made me feel like the king of my city. Kept her laughing as we headed out for a dance. I wasn't gonna be stopped, living a young small town boy's dream, kissing the homecoming queen. Oh, it may have been a long time ago, but it still feels like yesterday. I knew I needed to give it a go before she walked away. Well, I remember the night I kissed the homecoming queen, greatest high school moment that ever happened to me. For so long I just knew I didn't have a chance. Oh, and she held my hand, man, she was so pretty. She made me feel like the king of my city. Kept her laughing as we headed out for a dance. I wasn't gonna be stopped, living a young small town boy's dream, kissing the homecoming queen.
So what's the backstory on that song?
Oh gosh. So Homecoming Queen really isn't like based on a true story. Homecoming Queen is more of like, hey, I like writing like fictional material that sounds fun. so so it just became one of those story songs that, oh man, didn't I honestly didn't think I was going to put it on the EP.
Really?
I didn't know if I was going to release it. I didn't know if it was okay enough. And then I kind of ran it by a few different people and some friends and whatnot. He's like, yeah, you should try radio with it. So we tried Texas Country Radio, picked up a few stations, and had a decent success with it for kind of using it as a Kickstarter, I guess,
That's pretty cool. I mean, what of all your songs, what would you say have the best backstories to them, and which ones mean the most?
Lead Me On means the most, just because of how much heartbreak I put into writing that song, and just like I dealt with that issue, like kind of buried it deep inside, I guess, for about 12, 13 years, and just like didn't pour out my heart about it until I started doing country and put a pen in my hand and started writing on a piece of paper just the story, and that means a lot to me. And then I would think "Soul of a Six String" kind of means a lot because one, I wrote it because I never really heard love songs to a guitar. Like you hear like all these love songs to like your honeys or your wives or your girlfriends or whatever, but like how many of us as artists like are with our guitar during the week? You know what I mean? So like I felt like, man, it'd be cool to like write a song just talking about your love for what is literally giving you a job, you know? So I thought that was kind of cool.
If you could make a video to any of your songs, which one would you pick?
Oh man, you know, I think if I could put a visual with some of my songs, it would probably be "Lead Me On" or "Dancing with the Lights Off." "Dancing with the Lights Off" has a really cool upbeat rhythm to it that I think you can make a solid video kind of in a bar, like a bar theme to it, which would be cool.
You could just go for the laugh factor and make a really low quality lights out video. Just like nobody can see anything. It's cheap.
There you go.
Not much in the music world is cheap, so you got to take the ones you can.
We'll just use black lights the whole time. That'd be awesome.
I think you should do Homecoming Queen because we live in an area where there's, I think, 26,000 high schools.
Oh gosh, yeah.
What is the place? Scores Pizza down in Belton, right off the Nolan Creek Gin area.
Oh,
where they've got like helmets and jerseys on the wall, and I swear they've covered the place with them, and I don't even think they got all the teams.
Yeah, Wings Pizza and things in temples like that too.
Yeah, you think it's like a big Power 5 college football conference. You look, it's just a bunch of local 6-man high school teams.
Yes, dude. We have our own leagues down here.
Well, they say in Texas, football's the second religion.
Dude, yeah.
Well, I said a 6-man football a second ago, but we're going to look at 6-string guitars. I'm going to throw a song in here, "Soul of a Six-String."
Well, I have decided to not put this guitar down. Write what's on my heart and let it out. I know it sounds crazy, but there may be something to say after shattering my world and walking away. Oh, I won't be lonely when you're good as gone. So take my house, take my truck, take my dog, though I miss him much. You can't take the very best thing, the soul of a 6-string. I'll always remember the good times that we had, even though it all went bad, it won't let me down. Well, I just gotta strum a few chords and put your name in a song. Then you'll get the attention you're craving around town. Honey, I'm not lonely, even though you're gone. So take my house, take my truck, take my dog, though I miss him much. Girl, that's all fine by me. Take my money, take my pride, take my happiness, it'll be alright. But you can't take the very best thing, the soul of a 6-string. Girl, I won't have problems with finding my smile. I'll stand right here with these words of mine and jam for a little while. So take my house, take my truck, take my dog, though I miss him much. Girl, that's all fine by me.
So you mentioned some venues that you'd love to perform earlier, but what are some of your favorite venues and towns you've gotten to perform?
Oh gosh. Man. So when I was doing Christian gospel, I got the chance to play the San Antonio Rodeo, which was really cool. Not necessarily a local thing, but I never thought I'd really have an opportunity to play a rodeo,
Yeah.
especially in doing Christian gospel. I was really confused with that phone call.
Best of
I
both
was
worlds.
I was like, wait, what? I was like, have you listened to my music? But no, we had a good time. It was the same night. I don't know if you know the Christian band for King and Country, but they were playing. They were playing inside of the arena. So before and after the show, we got to play for the people who were coming out of that concert, which was really cool.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a good time. I think the rodeo. Oh man, I can't really think of anything else. Like there's tons that I would love to play now that I'm doing country for sure.
It definitely broadens the universe.
Yeah,
it feels like it constricts it when you're trying to make booking calls and emails, but in the
Right.
reality of
No,
things, it
for
really
sure.
broadens it. But man,
Yeah.
my heart goes out to all the venues though, because I had a spreadsheet of more than 400 or 500 emails, and
Yeah.
right when things started to open up again, I sent out my mass booking email, and a third to half of them bounced back, no longer in business. And
Yes.
the rest of them were kind of MIA, or they just can't do music again yet. So really,
Yeah.
I have a useless database that took me 2 years to build.
Yeah, for sure.
But at least we've got Temple. We know who to go to there.
That's right.
Well, what are some of the things we can expect from you next? You know, assuming the EP is kind of the start of the next step. What's your plan?
Yeah, so I just signed a radio promotion deal with Jennifer Redding and Generate Promotions out of Fort Worth, Texas. She is promoting artists right now like John Stork, Matt Castillo, Hayden Haydock. There's a lot of the new Texas country artists you're like about to see kind of boom.
All of
really.
those guys are starting to kind of boom.
Yeah, and so just signed with them back in December, and this Thursday we are releasing "Lead Me On" to Texas Country Radio through them, which I'm really excited about. We're in the process of planning the kind of radio tour right now. I know next week I'll probably be out in the Hill Country area, kind of Kerrville, Mason, Comanche, that kind of area. Shooting out to talk to some radio stations and stuff about the new single, and then man, we're looking at recording a whole full length album and putting it out in the fall.
Bring it.
So just eight or nine brand new songs, and trying to put it out in the fall. And in between that, man, we're gonna travel the state and play, whether it's acoustic shows or full band shows. We're gonna make it happen.
That's exciting. Like when I was listening to the EP songs that you're about to put out on Friday, I was kind of like, man, I hope this ends up being like a full album project.
Yeah.
Well,
that's the plan for sure.
That's really cool. Well, where can people who aren't following you yet go and follow your shows and social media and all that?
Yeah, so on Facebook and Instagram, you can find me at Landon Heights Music. You can find me on Twitter, Landon Heights M1. And then my official website is landonheightsmusic.com.
Cool. Well, you also have something coming up this weekend. You want to pitch it?
Let's do it. Let's pitch it, man.
Let's hear it.
Yeah, so this Friday, we are doing a Zoom EP release. So the EP is actually already officially released, but there are some people out of state who are kind of waiting to get theirs and waiting to kind of see a live show. So we decided, hey, let's do a virtual concert and reach out to these people. We got folks from Arizona, California, Virginia, Missouri. They're all going to be on board with us this Friday night. And I don't know if you know the guy opening, but his name is Garrett Smith.
Who?
Garrett. So, well, we're really excited to have you on board, man, and bringing your guitar player with you, I think.
Yep. Shout out to Reese Henry. He's got his own YouTube channel and all that stuff.
Yeah, man. We're excited to meet you guys and have you. The good thing about being live at our house is it comes with a free taco bar.
Yes.
So yeah, we're excited about that for sure.
Dude, I'll just do I'll play for 2 hours for the tacos.
There you go, boy.
I've had much worse payment at shows before.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. So if you want a ticket, if you're listening to this before Friday the 15th of January 2021, you can go get your ticket now at LandonHeightsMusic.com/store. And we are actually doing 2 shows. We're doing a 7:00 p.m. and 9:00 p.m. Both of those Central Standard Time. So definitely want to check that out.
I guess it's good to include the time zone for the out-of-state people. I've gotten time zones wrong twice on this podcast. And I was sitting there waiting on Rich O'Toole to call in, and I'm like, man, what's taking him so long? I'll call him. And he was in another interview because I thought that Knoxville and Nashville were in the same time zone. Oops.
Oh, no.
Oh, well. Oh, well.
It's crazy driving up there because, Nashville, you're in Central Time, and then all of a sudden you're in, Chattanooga, and you're like, wait, where am I?
Pretty much. The last time I was in either of those towns, I was on my way to Salem, Virginia to watch UMHB play in the national title game, and I took Whataburger honey butter and put it on dry ice in a cooler in the back, and it got colder as I went up there because it was the winter, so it was frozen. I got there, and the first thing I did is I went to Bojangles. And if you've never been to Bojangles, y'all gotta go. And I ordered a chicken biscuit from Bojangles and put Whataburger honey butter on it. And I combined the best of the South and of Texas into one.
Yeah. My wife and I were in Georgia visiting some family a few years back. And we went to so many fast food restaurants, and they did not even know what Dr. Pepper was. However, Bojangles saved our life and had a full fountain drink of Dr. Pepper. So we survived the trip.
Man, Bojangles let me down, though. If you go and look at their franchise expansion map, they're going all through the South, and they got, I think to Louisiana maybe, right up next to Texas. And then instead of breaching into East Texas, which in my opinion is the South, I know there is an overlap, folks. No, they went up to Indiana or Illinois or one of those Yankee states. And I was like, oh no, that's our thing.
Yeah.
Well, I have a big 3 questions that I ask all guests at the end.
All right.
And the first one, if you could collaborate with anyone out there, who would it be?
Wade Bowen.
That was quick.
Hands down.
I think you're the first person to say him.
Hands down. I've been listening to Texas country, since I was my teenage years. And Wade Bowen was one of the first artists I listened to. I fell in love with his record Lost Hotel. And then when he followed it up with If We Ever Make It Home, oh my goodness. It's just his collection of material is phenomenal. And the fact that he's a Waco boy is even better. Hometown dude.
Did you see his documentary that came out a year or 2 ago?
I did.
Oh, it was sad. It was so sad.
Yeah.
Yeah, that band was on the struggle bus before 2020 hit.
Yes, absolutely.
He performed at Chili Fest, the only time I've ever ventured to that festival. And it was either right before or right after Cody Johnson. And I remember that my sister was at Baylor at the time, and they were having some event where he'd be playing there. And I think if I remember correctly, it was going to be more of his gospel stuff. And so I was like, well, yeah, I'll tell you how he does the day before. Well, the day before, there's people throwing beer in the air. They passed a tree and a refrigerator over the crowd during a Wade Bowen show. And I texted her. I said, I have a funny feeling your show will look a little differently than this one.
So I have to say that, even though I've followed Wade Bowen and kind of his career and artists kind of surrounding Wade Bowen, like Randy Rogers, Tony LaRue, stuff like that. I just went to my first. I even met Wade Bowen. Let me just say, 2009. I met Wade Bowen
Wow.
at an award show in Waco. With the WCB Whitlee Casey band was up for Gospel Band of the Year at the MACT Groovy Awards they do every year in Waco, and he was being recognized for in the local artist hall of fame or something that they do every year. And so I got to meet him there. But 2020 came around and I finally went to my first Wade Bowen show.
Wow.
I've been listening this whole time. I've been a fan this whole time, and just the stars finally aligned to where I could watch both Wade Bowen and Stoney LaRue the same night. So we went, my wife and I went last December to Nettie Brown Amphitheater and saw him in Austin, and I was like, now life is complete. I finally went to see the guy I've been listening to the last 15 years of my life.
I feel like I'm kind of that way with Kevin Fowler. I mean, I've been listening to him since early high school.
Gosh,
and
dude.
I've been to a few shows, but the amount of shows I've been to does not match how diehard of a fan I am. Same thing with like Guns N' Roses, diehard fan. I've seen the current lineup once. It's like
I'm a diehard Garth Brooks fan. I saw him back in '98 when I could barely remember it, but I still remember it.
Well, that was kind of like the peak of his popularity. Not to say it ever went away, but like that's kind of like when he hit it,
Yeah, '98 is like right when the album Sevens came out, and like Long Neck Bottle was hitting radio and all that stuff. It was a good time.
Well, it's crazy how that works too. I always tell people, I'm like, I only ever got to go to one Ragweed show, and they're like, I'm like, but I got to go to one. That's more than a lot of people did.
Yes, sir.
I'm trying to get members of that band on here at some point. No, obviously not at the same time, but whichever order I can get them. Yeah. And that there may or may not have been some talk of that happening, but I don't want to jinx anything. So we're going to let that, I don't know.
Nice,
we shall see. I make no promises. One thing random that I will say before asking the next question is on the audio track on GarageBand where I record these, because I'm so high tech, the last thing you said made the audio line form a barbed wire shape. That was really cool. So just know that you did something very Texan. The second question is, if you could headline any venue, where would you go?
Billy Bob's, Texas.
Good answer.
Oh gosh, man. If I could go in my closet right now and see all the hard copy discs that I have of artists, I probably have about 9 or 10 live at Billy Bob's records. And it's just always been just listening to that. I tell you, the first Billy Bob's record I ever bought was Pat Green's. And that's kind of where my first start at Texas country really came. It was when we saw Pat Green for the first time in Waco, and then like the next day went to Walmart and bought his Billy Bob's record. And so I just came this like fanatic about Billy Bob's, and I've been there during the day to kind of tour the place and stuff and get the kind of feel of everything. But I'm excited to go there for some shows and stuff happening around the stockyards for sure.
I think I want to pull. I've been working on a portable stage specs, and I'd like to pull it up and like across the street, so I could record like Garrett Smith Band live across the street from Billy Bob's.
Live at the stockyards fence.
It's 4.5 tracks where you hear the cops roll up and ask for a permit. But some of those guys, like some of their best songs didn't even come out till after they did their Billy Bob's album. Like if you go listen to Kevin Fowler's, his early stuff is amazing. But he did come out with some really good stuff later on, even if it did sound different. But a lot of it just wasn't around yet when he did that album.
Well, some of the Billy Bob's records, I think, like really were Kickstarters for artists. I think Stoney LaRue's Billy Bob records really got him to where he is now. Like his version of Oklahoma Breakdown on there, his version of Brandon Jenkins' Feet Don't Touch the Ground.
Oh, one of the best.
It's still playing on radio, and so it just shows you that how important Billy Bob's is to Texas country artists.
I wish Brandon Jenkins was still around. He was a great songwriter, and he would have been somebody I would have loved to have interviewed.
Absolutely,
he just seemed
man.
like a solid dude.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, the last and the big finale question is, what is the funniest or craziest story you can tell from your music career so far?
Oh man. I'm trying to think. So I go back to my early Christian gospel years. And this was probably around the same time we were about to play at UMHB that one time. But I've always had a nosebleeding issue, and I really think this is the reason it happened. Because 9-10 years ago, I fell on my face after tripping over a guitar chord.
Oh, no.
Luckily, before the show started. And I've always thought that's where my nosebleeds started happening.
Jeez.
But I got that squared away. And just know that guitar chords can be very dangerous. They may look innocent, but they are not.
They're quite difficult, really.
Yes.
That is incredible. Well, I am glad you're able to do this interview. And usually when I do interviews, I'm not about to see the person I'm interviewing. So it's really cool that we're going to be playing a show on Friday. And
Heck yeah, man.
Like you said, y'all go to LandonHeightsMusic.com and get your tickets to that show now. We're going to try not to break anything at your house. I'll do my best.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, but it's going to be a good time. I'm looking forward to that, and I'm looking forward to getting feedback from people who are listening about your EP and just kind of getting that out there.
Yeah, man, I appreciate you having me on, dude.
No problem. Well, what song should we close out with?
We're going to close out with a tune called Dancing with the Lights Off.
There we go. Let's hope he does not take my advice with the awful music video idea I just had, but this song is Dancing with the Lights Off.
Looking at old pictures, I can feel those chills, like the night that we first met. And if you wanna get our boots back on the floor, girl, just tell me where and when. Give me a hot summer night down a long dirt road, we'll be alright. Nothing's gonna stop us now from getting tangled up when the sun goes down. We can turn some George Strait on, I don't care if we're singing along. Baby, let's just get lost and go dancing with the lights off. Spinning you around, looking so good in love, caught up in the neon glow. And holding you close, I see that look in your eyes. Baby, we got a better place to go. Give me a hot summer night down an old dirt road, we'll be alright. Nothing's gonna stop us now from getting tangled up when the sun goes down. We can turn some George Strait on, I don't care if we're singing along. Baby, let's just get lost and go dancing with the lights off. Girl, you can take this and write it down. I wanna love you right here, right now. Give me a hot summer night down an old dirt road, we'll be alright. Nothing's gonna stop us now from getting tangled up when the sun goes down. We can turn some George Strait on, I don't care if we're singing along. Baby, let's just get lost. Oh, give me a hot summer night down an old dirt road, we'll be alright. Nothing's gonna stop us now from getting tangled up when the sun goes down. We can turn some George Strait on, I don't care if we're singing along. Baby, let's just get lost and go dancing with the lights off. Let's go dancing with the lights off.